Hola amigos, welcome to Monday Night Action with MRC. Tonight we're starting with the Tier 2 racing here in Mexico for round 7 of season 12. We are ready to get this race going, or are we ready to get this race underlay? And that is the first of many Mexican puns that I'm sure you're going to be sick of in 10 to 15 minutes. But something you'll never get sick of is hearing the words Red Car Rambo is back on comms. Ryan, it's an honour to see your name back on the check-in list with me. Welcome. How are we?
Just adjusting this mic, like, I just can't quite hear you.
Oh dear, that's not good.
I can hear you now.
Hello, how are we, mate? You well?
Gelukkige dagen.
What does that mean in Dutch? I know that's...
Happy days.
Happy days. In Harlan, that's all I know. That's the only one I know, yes.
Yeah, it's,
That's a track where you see lots of overtaking this.
in my eyes, it looks like we're going to get a little drizzle there looking at the sky.
Yeah, you know all about things when they get wet, and you're right, that does look like it's a bit overcast, to say the least. But yes, once we get some cars on track, I'm sure we'll have a bit more activity to talk about. And we can see several pit mechanics getting ready, which means it is time to see some cars on track. Happy days. Whilst waiting for the cars to get on track, this circuit itself is the circuit, well, is based just outside of Mexico City, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named after a former Mexican racing driver, not the current one, Sergio Perez, who is a flop. Nothing will tell me to think differently of him. This is a 4.3 kilometre, 2.6 mile track at very high altitude, lots of long straights, a few twisty corners, and ultimately a very fun but technically difficult track to get right. Setup is very hard to get right here. You got to risk it all for either the straight line speeds or the twisty corners. You cannot set the car up for both. It's just not possible. Ryan, what's your take on the setup? How do you approach this track?
Great. What's the name?
Difficulty?
Great precaution.
That's a very wise way of saying it. I think that's spot on. If I'm honest, I think that's about right, because it's such a weird track. There's no grip and such high speeds. It's just a death trap everywhere.
So the thing is, I've got a lot of grip.
Oh, that's all right for you.
I have to sacrifice the speed down the straights to get that.
Well, speaking of the straights, Mr. in Harlan himself, our Dutch teacher Jackster, is roaring down the main straight. You will see people in excess of 200 miles an hour, 320 kilometers an hour as they reach turn 1. Brakes just before the 100 board. Height to the inside apex of all 3 of these corners here. If you hit too much curve, you will fly off into the wall on the left hand side or spin to the right. DRS, double DRS this area here as you head down to turn 4. Brake at 100 meters, hard as you can. Keep it tight from inside of 5 and then 6. Don't get too greedy, you will run wide. 7 and 8, the double right-hander. Again, very easy to understeer. We'll get the line wrong. Jack's gone a little bit wide, but got away with it. Now, the midfield section here of 9, 10, 11, 12. Super twisty here. If you get on the curves too much, you will spin and die. Lots of death everywhere. If you get too aggressive, you'll understeer and invalidate a lap. So, basically, get it right. I like the Ferrari, which didn't get out of the way. Whoever that was, wow, that was appalling. Into the final sector. This stadium complex used to be a baseball arena once upon a time, and now is a amphitheatre for the end of the lap and the podium. The final corner, very tricky. Coming onto the old banking for the final corner, and across the line. Jackson with an 18.4 banker, although with that block that he got from the Ferrari, don't be surprised if he finds plenty more time. Whichever Ferrari that was, and I can't tell which one it was, that was appalling. Wow. Anyway, Doris and Hoseman are already into the 17s. I imagine we're going to see a 16 from somebody in Tier 1. Will we see one in Tier 2 as well? Oh dear. Anyway. So Ryan, you mentioned that you like to go for a slightly more sensible setup, bit more wing than maybe some others might use here.
Yeah.
Do you feel that with that setup there, you'll compromise on the straights, or do you feel that there's still, with DRS, plenty of fight in your setup?
It's very, very good in the corners. I'm not gonna lie. So you can gain a few temps in the corners. So hopefully I can stay in the DRS with someone.
I hope you do too.
Try and race that way. I don't know. I might knock him down a little bit, but still won't be nothing drastic.
Fair enough. You won't be expecting one's level wins here, that's for sure. And if anyone runs out, they're in trouble. Let's have a quick look at the YouTube chat. So hello to Martin Hills, who says sorry for being late. That's just not good enough, Martin. Don't be sorry, be better. Alex Jarek says hello. He's racing later in Tier 1. We'll see how he gets on in his Williams. Airways says hello and good evening. Good evening, and always to see our friend Airways in the chat. Lawrence Fortes, also known as Lorpy, Mr. Dutch Maestro himself, says good evening. Good to see you. Ryan, why have you been kidnapped and talking from the basement? That's what Alex wants to know.
You are?
Alex Jarek, our Qatari friend, would like to know why have you been kidnapped and why are you talking in the basement?
Talking in the basement?
Yeah, that's what he's asked.
I have no idea what that was talking about.
I think Alex Jarek is chronically insane and needs to go and see a doctor. And Stevie J, also known as Kaiser Soze, says good luck to B17, his good friend. So, speaking of B17, currently...
Yeah, is it not his debut in Tier 2?
It is. Fox Rivers, Smith have had a collision. Fox is out of the session. Smith's got a 5-place grid penalty. I think that's happened at the final corner, based upon the yellow flag on the screen. But, oh dear, that's not good. That's a bad start to the session for them. If you're Fox, you'll be a bit angry. If you're Smith, you'll be embarrassed to be at the back of the grid. Plus, well, more than likely with that penalty. Oh dear. Anyway, let's move on. Who is on a lap that we can stalk? B17, let's stick with them. So yeah, you mentioned they recently promoted to Tier 2. Congratulations to Carl. Oh, and he pits. Brilliant. He's got a Valentino Rossi-inspired helmet, who of course is his hero. Not an F1 driver, but a legend of motorsport nonetheless.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there. What a legend.
Valentino Rossi, I think, is one of those people you can't not like the guy. Speaking of people you just can't not like, where is he? Wookie. Currently 11th in the Mercedes. He's reserving up from Tier 3. And he's just a very likeable fella, him. Bit of a silly guy. He's trying to be a bit of a B-Tech Ryan with the comments in general chat, being a bit of a Bantosaurus. Is he your new apprentice?
I don't know what the exit's going to be like here, but I'll turn the Michael.
Oh, okay. You're good?
I'm good.
That's all right then.
Now I can hear myself.
Oh no. I mean, I quite enjoy listening to you, and I'm sure everyone else does, but that might be annoying for you. Anyway.
It's alright.
That's all right then. So, who can we watch? No one's really on a lap. Hoseman. Oh, let's see Hoseman. The rapid flying Dutchman. This guy only knows the word in Haaland. He's the only Dutch person that doesn't speak Dutch apart from in Haaland. The only Dutch word I know, to be honest.
Selecta then.
Well, enlighten us, Sensei. What does that mean? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Someone who's selected a faster lap is Mr. Singletrack, who's on a 17.499 to go P2. I'm sure you'll see a lot more people getting laps in now as Hoseman sets a purple first sector. Rapid lap this could well be. Currently on pole by a quarter of a second, and it looks like he's improving. Shame about the car he's in though.
Not bad lap.
He's a bit deep into a couple of corners, but he's still really quick nonetheless. And this middle sector still looks like he's on for a good lap. Let's get the lap data up in the top corner. Just realised I'm not showing it. Oh, big switch from Hoseman in the final sector there. And that is the end of that lap. Absolutely chalked it.
Seconds down as well.
Womax is 3/10 up though. Oh, no, now he's not. He's bang level. He's a bad middle sector in the AlphaTauri. Good evening, Mr. Hodgson, who's in the YouTube chat. Have you heard what AlphaTauri's name's going to be for next season? They're changing names to Racing Bulls.
Really?
Really? I think that's a rubbish name myself. So everyone moans that we had Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri and we couldn't differentiate between two Alphas. And next season, Alfa Romeo is becoming Sauber and AlphaTauri is becoming Racing Bulls. All we were asking for was one Alpha, and we've got none.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like the AlphaTauri, to be honest.
No, I don't either. Jackster, though, he likes the AlphaTauri. It's his favourite team, he said. And he's currently a quarter of a second up. His hero, Nick De Vries, drove for AlphaTauri. Jackster stays P7 in the end, but he does improve. I heard that Jackster's a massive Nick De Vries fan, not Max Verstappen.
I know what you're saying. I can just picture him saying it.
Good God for Doberman. Indeed, that's exactly what he's saying. Now then, Rob Smith in the Alpine. Oh no, he's not in lap. His ERS is flashing like a man on the red light district of Amsterdam. Eddie Dust is on a lap. He's a man who knows how to separate the nacho from the guacamole into the final sector. He's nearly a second up on himself. What can he do as he comes into the stadium section? We're going to come back to Mexican food at some point when we get the inevitable safety car. And if we don't get it, then we'll talk about food and ignore the racing. Eddie Dust jumps up to P6 with a 1:18.0. Good lap, Mr. Dust. I still can't get over the fact his name is Eddie Driver. He's a racing driver with the surname Driver. That's cheating, I think. That's an unfair advantage. Honestly, someone needs to have a word with his mum. Yeah, it's his name. Someone needs to have a word with his mum and dad. Because that's just not acceptable. Martin Sandbag Hills is bigging himself up in the YouTube chat, saying that's the first 17 he's done in any session. It's okay, Martin. Well done. We're proud of you.
Fair play, then.
We're proud of you, lad.
Put practice in.
He was saying the other day that he was 2 seconds off the pace. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're 2 seconds off the pace, I'd be scared to see what the said pace is, although I'm sure Eugeni could do a 15.5 if he really wanted to.
I think he meant he was 2 seconds off the pace.
Mark Hodgson says maybe Eddie's name of Eddie Driver comes from where he was conceived. Maybe he was a back seat job, if you know what I mean.
That's your duster.
Oh dear. Well, anyway, let's move on to some important matters. Business has resumed with the Aston Martins and the Haas at the bottom or end of the timing screens. It's very much like real world F1 2022 of last season. Although, as I said, that Ghost Rider jumps up to P14. Is Bergen going to actually, for once in his life, be useful and set a lap time? He's finally...
I think he's saving tyres, I think.
He's finally on a lap. Let's have a look. How was he doing? Oh, he's invalidated! Oh, Bergen. Finally comes out to play and cuts a corner. Well, runs wide on the third to last corner. And he aborts. Brilliant. He aborts his lap. Maybe his parents should have done that as well. Now then. Who shall we look at? Ryan, pick a driver to look at. Wookie? Let's have a look at... What, the purple and yellow? I like that.
Yeah.
Martin Hills says he followed your advice on downforce, and that is basically why he's gone faster, as he's listened to Sensei Rambo. So, if you're in a tier 1 or tier... Sorry?
What did I say?
You said to run high downforce.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think that's the way forward on this game. I just think it works on every track, to be
It
totally
does.
honest.
So if you're a tier 1 or tier 3 driver, or just an avid racing fan who's tuning into MRC and wants to know how to be better at this game, Sensei Rambo, praise be to Lord Redcar, says run more wings. If you're slow, put more
What's
wings on the car.
sensei?
Sensei's like,
Do you mean sensei?
yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I mean, right? Master Choda. That's it. You've gone from Sensei to Master Choda. You absolute turtle.
Burrito.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's it. Your nachos, when I come to see you, are not having salsa guacamole or sour cream. Yours just having a dry crisp.
Do you know what? I don't mind that. That's bigger than me anyway.
Right, that's it. No tortillas for you.
That's fine.
Oh dear. Let's not get too food talky because I'll get hungry again. No one's on a lap right now. Literally, no one's on a lap. Oh no, oh no, Scottish Ninja spun. He's not on one. Wookie.
He's on a lap.
Wookie's aborted. He's aborted.
Yeah, he's bailed back.
Right. Somebody get on track and do a lap. Monster, stop talking in the YouTube chat and get on the track. You have finally got a qualifying session where you're not banned. Now use it wisely. These are the wise words of me. He has. Wait, did you say Bergen's come back out on track? And he's not crashed or spun? I'm impressed. He's going to kill me later. He's going to absolutely ruin me like I'd ruin a takeaway right now. Like Mark Hodgson would ruin a Palmo.
Stop talking about food, lad.
Oh no, I'm just hungry, mate. You're not you when you're hungry. Right, I promised that I'd say this. Some say he uses stabilisers. Others say he's the original elf on the shelf. All we know is he's called Redcar Rambo. And you know who said that.
Manouche.
Yep.
I expect nothing less.
Exactly. Now then, Hoseman, last time we were on board with him for a lap, he bottled it and aborted in the final sector. Let's stick with him as he goes for his what could be and should be his final attempt at qualifying on pole here in Mexico. Turn 1 and 2 negotiated nice and simple, not too much curve through 3, nice on the exit, plenty of power. DRS wide, gaping open. And he's a quarter of a second up on himself in the first sector. Oh, this could be a tasty lap. Speaking of tasty laps, are you watching I'm a Celebrity later? Oh, I think we might be having a technical issue. Ryan has gone without a voice. Let's stick with Hoseman through the middle sector.
Oh, sorry, I was here, lad.
Hoseman's 3/10 up. This will surely be a 1:16 from the hose pipe. Just keeps up the track limits. There's a Ferrari in the way. The Ferrari just gets out of the way. Big lock up into the hairpin. Sander might have lost some time in this sequence here. But what will his final lap be? Takes the shortest line to the finish. That's a 17.0. So close to 16. That's a fantastic lap time from Hoseman.
Great lap.
He's got half a second on the rest of the field.
The track is on.
He's not on a lap. No, Martin's not. Womax. He's just started his lap. He's in the end of the first sector now. He's a 10th down. Ooh, we'll come back to him. Doris is in the middle sector though. What can the man from Hong Kong do? Oh, he's gone very wide. He's invalidated. Oh, he's angry. Look at him waving the car around. He is angry. Bergen P2! Bergen has made me eat my words like I'd eat an enchilada, and he has put it in P2. God for Domerman indeed. Eddie Dust has aborted. He's in the pits, as is Rob Smith, as is Gatian. And I think B17...
Oh, Womax is out.
Oh, Womax has binned it in the final sector. We could just see his car there as we're on board with B17. Oh, wow. Fajo Reese is in the pits. Is B17 going to find something in the final corner? He's run out of VRS, but he's still going to go to the line. And B17 does not improve. That, ladies and gentlefolk, is your qualifying session in Mexico. So, vamos a pole position for Hoseman. Sander takes another pole in this Tier 2 season. Bergen stepping up to show that he is still very much hungry to prove himself in P2. Single track, Mr. Sandbags in P3. Womax P4, P5 for Doris, P6 for Eddie Dust, 7th for Rob Smith, 8th for Fox River. Considering that was his banker lap, don't count him out in the race. Gassian P9, Jackster rounds out the top 10 in the Williams. Bit, didn't see him in qualifying, he was in P11. That's a good qualifying from Kyle. He's normally a little bit lower down in qualifying. It's not his strongest part of the weekend. We'll come back to the rest of the timing shortly. So, Kyle is in P11. Smith P12. Good job from him, although he will have a 5th place grid penalty. Boothie P13. Winky 14th. 15th Scottish Ninja. 16th for Wookie. 17th Monster. 18th Ghost Rider. 19th B17. And Fire J Rooster rounds up the grid in 20th. Ryan, who are you predicting to be the top heater today? I'm full of some rubbish, me.
I'm going to go Fox.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's in P8, but I think he's quicker than that.
I agree. I think Fox is definitely the dark horse in this grid. Or the dark fox. Right, it looks a bit sunnier. However, our informants in the track say that rain is on the horizon for the end of the race, and there is a bit of cloud over the paddock there. So we saw some wet stuff in MRCX on Friday. We know full well, we found out firsthand, didn't we, Ryan, how tricky and treacherous this track can be.
I found it quite easy.
Oh, all right, Mr. 50-50 wins.
I weren't fast, but you know what?
You had grip.
It was quite the challenge, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
No, I agree with you. The wet stuff is good fun, but this is a track that's slippy even on the dry, so it will settle the men from the boys, and of course, in this case, the animals such as the fox or Fox River. Strategy-wise, if it stays dry for the whole race, and it sounds unlikely, medium hard or hard medium is your safe strategy. You could do a soft hard, or vice versa, or you could strut for a 2-stop and go medium soft medium. But I would imagine most people without a safety car and without the rain will just do this bog standard 1-stop. There are 3 people on the soft tyres. That's Monster, Scottish Ninja, and Doris. 2 on the hards, Fox and Wookie, and everyone else, all 15 remaining drivers, are on the mediums. Good luck from Europel. Hilbert is in the YouTube chat to say hello. Good to see you, my friend.
Who said that, sorry?
Europel.
Okay.
Another Dutchie. We keep saying Dutch things and more Dutch people are saying hello. Maybe we should do this more. Godverdomme in Haarlem.
Godverdomme.
Exactly. We know the important lingo. Now, what?
Well, Boris is select there and circuit.
Does that mean he selected the softs?
Yeah.
You've got your Dutch phrase book out. You've definitely used that in the red light district. You've told a woman that you selected the softs, haven't you?
I've never been, lad.
Okay. If you say
It's on the bucket list.
The question is, will you find a bucket? Oh, that's a story for another day. Right, and because of how quick a lap is, we are already back at the grid, which means we are saved from me and Ryan's awful chit chat until the first safety car is, and then you are all doomed. Right, this is one of the longest stretches down to turn 1, one of the most fiercely fought, being so wide, such a long run. Do not be surprised to see 3 or even 4 cars abreast on the run down to the first corner throughout the grid. Being on pole here can be a curse with how much benefit the slipstream behind will give to those in chase of the lead car. But if you have good enough straight line speed, you can run away. So let's see as the final cars take their grid slots. Let's see how this race unfolds. Out waiting for some lights. Ghost Rider can't put it in the box. That does not bode well from later. We have some lights, and finally we are underway in Mexico. And immediately it's a great start from Hosman in the Red Bull. Bergen doesn't want to let him get away though. He is staying right with him, and so is Single Track. In fact, look at Bergen right up the rear of Hosman. If he was any closer, he would penetrate him. We're going to have 3 cars wide into turn 1. Single Track, Hosman and Bergen all go in line. And Single Track's taking the lead. How's he hung it round the outside of turn 1 there like that? We've got McLaren a half round as Eddie Dust. But look at Hosman coming back in Single Track into turn 4. Martin hasn't defended. Hosman this time doesn't decide to go for it. Reminiscent of a
The high wings will allow it.
Yeah.
That's why I like that too.
Indeed, we've got a great overhead shot of turns 4, 5, 6 and 7. He did, he got a big twitch there, and Bergen's now having a sniff on the outside. Ooh. Let's come on board with the Haas, and Hosman very clearly struggling in this early phase. Single Track is running away at the front. He will want to break that DRS gap, as the 3 DRS zones are super powerful here. B17 is out on lap 1, and that is our first VSC. He's dropped it out of the S's. That is so easy to do, and I have to be honest, this is probably too early for anyone to consider pitting, but if you're on the softs, it might be worth the gamble to get on the mediums, get that cheap pit stop. Steve J says, great start B17, and then immediately has to correct himself and say, oops, too late, as unfortunately his good friend did retire. Now then, under VSC, don't be a Wally and like me on Friday and get a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. That will do you no favours. All the drivers need to make sure they keep it nice and simple under the Delta here. Although Martin, with that second lead, doesn't need to take too many risks. Hosman and Bergen will want to try and close the gap if they get a chance. The question is, when will it end? This is a very long VSC, it has to be said. It's almost a lap.
Yeah, this track really gets you on the Delta in the corners as well.
Yeah, especially that final section there. It's so hard to keep it within the Delta. And we have green flags. We are racing, and Martin, whose lead was 1.3 seconds, is now down to 0.8. The one thing saving him though is Bergen is going for Hosman. Bergen on the outside, Hosman on the inside. Bergen being shown the very edge of the track, Hosman not wanting to concede a place. And this fighting between the two of them will allow Single Track just to eke away. Can Bergen and Hosman keep it clean? They have to watch out. Rob Smith, Single Track's teammate, is just behind them, and so is the ever-fast Norris. So here we go. On the exit of the final corner, Hosman, he found something on both Bergen and Single Track. I think he's wearing lower wings. Let's see, anyone overtaking down the order? Yep, we've got Eddie Dust and Jackster are fighting in turn 1. Eddie Dust has got that position, and side by side are Winky and Boothie and Monster. And yep, Winky just ahead of Boothie and Monster. Looks like they all follow through nicely there. Bit in P15 also on the chase of these guys. Who are you looking at currently, Ryan?
I'm currently just keeping my eye on Wookie.
Oh yeah? How's Wookie doing?
He's not doing too bad. His first go with no line as well.
Oh, fair play to him.
Keeping within DRS, so
Can't have so much more at this early stage, fair play. But it's all getting a bit heated up front. Single Track now only 6 tenths, not even 6 tenths. Or rookie round, that's a shame. Single Track's just half a second ahead of Bergen, who's only about half a second ahead of. Sorry, Hoseman is between Bergen and single track. I got that wrong there. And the three of them are so close. That Bergen might get Hoseman before Hoseman gets single track. If he's brave in turn 1, how late do they dare brake? Looks like they're both being sensible for the time being. Bergen knows he needs to keep it clean for the time being. He can get Martin later. He needs to wait for Hoseman to make a mistake, really.
He's in a real good position there anyway, the top 3.
Oh yeah, they're slowly eking away from Doris and Rob Smith now. They've broken the DRS. If Doris on the soft tyres can get the pace early, and now that he's been freed up, I'm sure he will close up to them. As long as his tyres don't die on him too soon.
Was Doris not fast on Friday as well?
He was. He's fast everywhere. I personally think he is rapid.
Yeah.
Martin was saying the other day he thinks that Doris should be in tier 1, and there is definitely a good case for that argument. Now then, Bergen, look how close. No chance. Bergen, as we look at the helicopter shot here, is all over the back of Hoseman, who ran really wide through that stadium section. Can Bergen get the run out the final corner? Hoseman with a huge twitch there. I think Bergen is about to get the chance to pass Hoseman. Will Hoseman get DRS? Bergen's got it. Hoseman doesn't. This is an easy pass for the Haas. He's already through.
I like that helicopter shot. Nice, isn't it?
Well, through the final section, it's incredible. Now, Bergen already is within 6/10 of single track. He might not be able to get a move done into turn 4, but this puts him in great stead for a move maybe in a lap's time. Hoseman just couldn't get the move done, and Bergen, he looks like he fancies it. He looks capable.
Oh yeah, looks cool.
Oh yes. Rookies had a off at turn 1, 2 and 3 and got a 5-second penalty for doing so. Ooh, big twitch from Rob Smith in the background. He's not out of this race either. He's still keeping with Doris, keeping the DRS. And Doris isn't in the DRS of these guys yet, so don't be surprised if Rob Smith and Womack's come back at Doris when the soft tyres fade. Now then, we're stuck with this fight at the moment for the front 3, because this is where the action is. We are going to look at some of the drivers shortly, but I think we might be about to see a change for the lead. Oh, Morrison's dropped it at the S's, and we have a full safety car. That has just saved Mr. Martin Hill's bacon. That's a real shame. I think Bergen might have just been about to make a move. If I was on the memes, I'd be pitting for set hard now. I'd be... No. Not on mediums. I personally would. But if you're on the softs, it's a no-brainer. Doris is in for a change of tyres. Yeah, Scottish Ninja is too. Really for the soft. Yeah, and unfortunately for Morningstar, his race, he did say earlier it was a doomed race for him. He felt it was a nothing race in terms of his opportunity for points, and his race after 5 laps is over. That's a shame to see. But the first safety car means we can start talking about nachos.
Oh, I love nachos and cheese dip.
Oh, what a combination, honest to God. Nacho cheese sauce is a beauty.
You also go to the cinemas though.
You go to the cinema to get the cheesy nachos and then you just walk out, don't even watch the film.
Yeah, I've done it before. I've done it loads of times.
You must have a very nice cinema near you, because my cinema's expensive and not so good. They just do microwave hot dogs.
The price doesn't really matter when it's a treat.
Oh, that's a fair point. Oh dear. Oh. What sort of toppings do you put on your nachos? Because I've seen people put stuff like brisket and all sorts on there. Or are you a kind of simple guy with the sauce?
Just like nice simple salted nacho with a nice hot cheese dip.
Ooh, I could do with that right now, you know. I could happily demolish that. Are you a jalapeno in or jalapeno out kind of person?
Screw the jalapeno.
Yeah? Oh, I like them, me.
Nacho.
Fair play. I quite like them, me.
I like them, but I'd rather not have them. I'd rather just tuck straight in.
Tuck straight in. So what I'd love to tuck into right now is either some fajitas or some enchiladas. The noises coming out of your mouth are quite intense noises. What if I say the word burrito to you?
Do you just say burrito?
No, burrito. But I can say
I'm not
Dorito
too
as well.
fussed about a burrito,
What about a chili heatwave Dorito then?
but I like the blue ones.
Oh, they call it original? Oh,
Yeah, I like them.
they're nice. They're a bit bland. But chili heatwave though. Whoa.
They're not bland when you got sour cream dip.
Okay, yeah. That's fair enough. Oh, that's enough food talk. Right. So, the people that took the chance to pit were Scottish Ninja, who's now on the mediums, Doris, who's also now on the mediums, and unfortunately, obviously, the other soft runner from the start, Monster, did just retire, joining B17 on the sidelines. We're down to 18 drivers. We're on our first safety car. We've also had one VSC before this. And now we've got another Dutchie in the chat. Ben van der Menster, G-Star Snipes is here. In Haaland, G-Star. But not past me, please.
Is he Dutch as well?
Yeah. MRC has a lot of Dutchies. Welcome all Dutchies. We love our Dutch friends. What did you just say?
Multiplying.
They are. It's all the raves they go to and all the parties they have. They just... Yeah. They multiply. Anyway. Mr. Single Track becomes the safety car, which is what he should be usually because he is quite slow. And he leads the pack into the final sector. Oh, I'm getting sacked from stewarding and such for that comment later. I'm going to get sacked. Into the final corner he goes. When is he going to release the power? The safety car is in the pits. And Martin goes. Yes, he's on the throttle. And Bergen, not caught napping, but he's not right up with him. But someone who is ready to pounce. Well, not sure who is actually. I thought Hoseman was. Aha! Doris alongside Bergen's teammate Ghost Rider. He's ready to pass into turn one. Doris with those fresh tyres looking to make moves as soon as possible. But he brakes early and Ghost Rider holds on to position. That is not what Doris would have wanted. But he's got much better drive out of turn 3. Will he get the run down to turn 4? This is for P13 at the moment, but Doris needs to make these moves now for later in the race with the extra stop that he's going to make. And he hasn't. Ghost Rider holds on. Maybe Ryan was right. Pitting was a mistake. Doris at the inside, turn 6 and 7. Yeah, he's got the move done now. More done than a Nacho or Dorito when Red Car is around in Hungary. Now then. Back to the helicopter shot.
I'd take more days off than Connor.
No comment. Oh dear God. Back to the helicopter cam in the final sector, looking at Hoseman on that helicopter cam. That is a great shot, and you can see the exit. Oh, Hoseman, a huge stretch in the final corner. 2 big snaps, and he nearly ends with the wall. He's lost position to Rob Smith. That's 2 Alpines in the top 3 now. But Hoseman, with the slipstream, shows just how powerful that toe is. He's coming back at him around the outside for turn 1. But Rob Smith, with a great positioning of the car on the inside, holds position. Yeah. No in Haaland for Hoseman here. But he's coming back. In Haaland! I promised Jackson that I'd say it as many times as I could.
I gathered.
Godverdomme.
Godverdomme.
Anyway, Bergen is now over second. He's 1.2 behind the Single Track. It looks like he's just had a moment at turn 6 and 7. But Single Track's had a huge moment in the section. In Das Essen. Oh my God, German. And this has allowed Bergen to get right up to him again. Hoseman is right behind Bergen as well. The fight for the lead is just getting juicier and juicier. Eddie Dust is now coming into the mix too as Rob Smith runs wide. We've got a hash round, it's Ghost Rider. He's lost it at the S's and we've got another VSC. Ooh. Oh dear. By the way, Jackster pitted on the last lap of that safety car. I think he might have picked up some damage on the restart. So anyway, another VSC as we start lap 10. This race is more stop-start than Leeds United's football season this season. As G-Star has put in Haaland in the YouTube chat.
Who else, sorry?
Look in the YouTube chat, G-Star has put in Harlan. G-Star, please teach us more Dutch. We'd like to learn.
I am mine.
Godverdomme. And in Harlan, they're the only two phrases I know.
I know a couple of track names.
Oh, Jacob! Fajay Roos with a drive-through under VSC. No, Jacob, that is not right. Oh, I'm getting a flashback now. And we are underway again. No real change in the gaps at the front. Hoseman looks like he's dropped a little bit of time though through these S's. Maybe he's got the power down a bit too late. I think we're going to see a pass from Bergen into turn 1 on single track. Look how close he is to the back of the Alpine, nearly collecting him into the stadium section. Bergen looks feisty. The man from Bradford is rookies out of the session, and we see another safety car. And Bergen and single track both pit. In fact, everyone is pitting, with the exception of Doris, who has not long pitted and spent the whole of this stint from the safety car on new tyres. So he takes the lead of the race. Everyone else has pitted except for one of the Red Bulls, which is Scottish Ninja. As the other
Bergen has gone medium, soft.
Yes, he's gone for the medium again. Single track goes for the hard. Bergen's gone medium, Hoseman medium, Eddie Dust, Womax, Rob Smith have gone soft, Fox and Bits have gone medium, Gassian's gone hard, Boothby, Fajay Rooster have gone soft, Winky's already on medium, as is Jackster, and then Sauce for Ghost Rider and Smith. So only 2 drivers are on the hards and could go to the end, although it will be a bit of a stretch. I think the 2-stop is the safer bet here, and that's probably why Bergen's gone medium. And Hoseman doing the same thing probably says that it's a wise move, because Hoseman's a sensible guy. He's leading the championship for a reason.
I mean, it makes sense to try it.
It does. It's a gamble either way. Team Alpine going for the hard and the soft. They're covering off both strategy options there. Not sure if Rob Smith and single track are communicating or in any form of contact during the race, but if they are, that's good teamwork, and if they're not, well, maybe they're just in sync. What would you have gone for, Ryan? What would you have put on the tyre?
I'd have gone medium hard, but I wouldn't have pitted yet anyway.
No, well, you're a bit of a tyre whisperer. You can make tyres last when other men just can't.
We had, what,
2 virtuals and 2 fulls now. This is the second full safety.
Well, yeah, so I'd probably be bringing myself in around lap 18.
Yeah, sounds about right. The mediums I found can do 20 laps. The hards can do 25, but it's a bit of a stretch for both of them. The softs, you're running out of steam at around lap 12, 13. So, those who are on the hards here could go to the end. And those who are on the mediums, well, you're almost certainly going to be pitting again. Even if you had used the alternative tyre, you're probably going to have to pit again.
Really, you have to pit again. You're risking a puncture or...
Yes, safety would say to pit and just play it cautiously. Especially in that mid-sector where it's so easy to lose the rear on the curb.
I mean, we're looking at this. Are we looking potential rain?
Well, that's another factor, yeah. If there's more rain to come, then it doesn't really matter what tyre you've got on, as long as you're on the track when the rain comes. Looking at the sky, it does look very cloudy, but it doesn't look like rain is really here.
It's okay when you're looking that way. It's more to the left. And behind the driver, it's a little bit darker.
Does a little bit. Oh, G-Star says I can hear 2 comms, but one of us sounds very far away. Well, we are in England, you are in the Netherlands, G-Star. If you can hear us from there, you're doing well. Right. Doris leads the pack into the stadium section. The safety car has run away. We are about to get this race back underway again for the third restart. And Doris, he's got a bit of a gap to Scottish Ninja. Single Track will want to dispose of Scottish Ninja as fast as he can. And on the restart, Doris already taking defensive lines to try and break the toe. Bergen has been really caught napping there. And here comes Hoseman in the Red Bull down the outside of the racing line.
Single Track is in P2.
He is, and we're just seeing Hoseman and Bergen side by side as well. Hoseman had the position but then backed out of it. And Bergen's got him back in turn 3. But as you mentioned, crucial pass from Single Track and Scottish Ninja. He needs to escape whilst he can. The cars behind are battling and have a slower car in Scottish Ninja who has old tyres in the way. Mr. Hodgson says, Ryan, turn your mic up.
It's on full beam, man, turn your ears up.
Yep, I agree, turn your ears up. Ryan of Red Car is perfectly fine. Now then.
It's echoing in my ears, it's that loud.
Oh dear. So back to the action, and the Mercedes of Doris is already under attack by the Alpine of Single Track. He's got a bit deep into the stadium. That's not good on your new tyres, Mr. Hills. And on the exit there, he's actually lost a bit of time in that final section. But Bergen is now catching up quickly to the back of Scottish Ninja. Again, he will need to dispatch of the Red Bull as fast as he can. Lots of drivers weaving to try and break the DRS, and we've got a McLaren fighting here. Eddie Dust up the inside of Hoseman, and having a look at Bergen. Backs out of that one, but he's got the Red Bull, man. Hoseman will not be a happy bunny. He will want that position back as fast as possible. Boothie, meanwhile, has got past Gassian down the order. Boothie for tier 2 is what they all say, and I agree. He's a bit good. Man from Rotherham.
Is he not in tier 2 now?
Nope, he's, as far as I'm aware, he's still tier 3, but I might have missed something. Anyway.
I know he did inquire about it. Oh.
He might well have done. We'll come back to that later. Back to the front, and Single Track's still not posing a threat on Doris yet. Doris's tyres still clearly are in a good place. Scottish Ninja, however, look at the pressure on the back of the Red Bull from Bergen. These guys are dropping rapidly off the lead. 3 seconds off the lead already. You've only had a 2 laps since the restart. Bergen needs to get the pass done here. If he doesn't, Eddie Dust will...
in Haaland there for Bergen.
Big in Haaland time. Eddie Dust is already going for the move and blocking Bergen in. Bergen needed to get the move done before Eddie Dust pounced, and he missed the opportunity. But he has got past Scottish Ninja. Eddie Dust is out of ERS. He's used all the battery up to get the pass done. Can Bergen get him back when the DRS becomes available at the end of this lap?
Eddie does have probably got no stuff left.
No. Scottish Ninja needs to let his teammates Hoseman through. He needs to try and play the team game if he can.
Yeah, he will. I think he will.
He's not so far. Watching the Red Bulls dice through this second sector here. Hoseman on newer tyres. Yeah, here he goes. And yet Scottish does get out of the way there. Ninja does move to the side. And it's like watching Perez and Verstappen. The Dutchie overtakes his teammates in the Red Bull. Now then, Eddie Dust and Bergen. This fight doesn't want to end. We'll look at Single Track and Doris if Doris is under attack. But it doesn't look like he is for now. Bergen with ERS, with DRS, with a slipstream. Surely he can make the pass. Eddie is out of DRS. Bergen has a little bit, but he's got the slipstream and DRS, but crucially, he's not really gaining.
I mean, to be honest, the McLaren's straight line speed is going to be a problem.
It is, and Rob Smith gets past Scottish Ninja into turn 1. Vital move. Wemax will now be on his case too. But here comes Bergen in turn 4, and Eddie Dust still holds position. As we have an Alfa Romeo round that Smith, I believe, has gone round. Yeah. Bergen will be waiting for another attempt at a move on Eddie, but Eddie's wings look very, very low. As you said, the McLaren's
To be
straight
honest,
line speed was good.
Bergen really doesn't need to damage his tyres, really. Eddie's on the top, he's gone out the box.
Indeed. Now, back to the front, look at this, single track all over Doris suddenly. He's picked up the pace, he's picked up the confidence. Are we going to see a move here? And we might see two moves. We might see Bergen and the single track getting past their respective nemesis. Doris picks up a 3-second penalty, though. Surely single track's going to take him here in turn 1. Doris is going defensive. There's his one move. He's hazily making his way back to the left. I think he's going to have to stay put there now. Single track up the inside into turn 1. And brakes very early. I think he could have broke a bit later there. Doris takes the defensive line through 2. Will Martin get the run out of 3? No, is the answer. And if anything, this is allowing Eddie Dust to get DRS, which is stopping Bergen from launching attack. Got a bit of a train at the front here now. What is your take on this, Mr. Red Car?
To be honest, I think Martin's in a race overall.
Especially on those hards, his pace looks fantastic, and if he can hold the tyre life, definitely.
Yeah.
Jackster with a 3-second penalty. Got a few penalties are creeping in here for track limits. It's not the easiest track for track limits, this. And I think Doris might be in some trouble down the straight into turn 1 here. Ooh, bit wide on the final corner. Let's jump on board with the Alpine. And Martin's got the run over already. Max has retired. And that's a safety car. I think Martin got the move done just before the safety car sign flagged up. Ooh. Now this is a good opportunity for anyone who's on the mediums and has a hard tyre available to pit for the hards. If you're on the softs, you can definitely pit for a set of mediums or a set of hards. And if you're on the hard tyre, so if you don't have a set of mediums available or a set of hards available, then you're probably up a certain creek without a paddle. This is a prime opportunity for Doris to pit, Scottish Ninja to pit, who pitted a bit earlier than everyone else. Everyone with soft tyres to put a medium on. This is the perfect time. The question is, will we see Bergen, Hoseman and Fox River come into pits? Would you pit now, Ryan? I know you said earlier that you wouldn't have pitted. This is lap 18.
I keep forgetting my mics. I've got a new headset, so the
still getting used to it.
built in like the Pulse one I have.
Ah, okay.
And it keeps flicking up and muting.
Oh dear. Yeah, is this the point where you'd pit?
Yeah, I would pit now. I would be coming in for my first stop.
And interesting, the front two don't pit. Who is going to pit behind them? Rob Smith pits.
I've seen the on hards, to be fair. I wouldn't pit if I was in, but Eddie Dust I would be in.
Yeah, Eddie Dust stayed out. Doris pitted. No, sorry, Doris didn't pit, a lie. Those are pitted were Rob Smith, Boothie, Bit, Scottish Ninja.
Rob's gone to the Inters.
Oh, wow. And so's Boothie. And Bit.
So's Bit.
That means rain must be very, very close. Because they're gambling on the rain. That'll be why certain people in the softs haven't pitted, because they want to wait for the rain.
The problem is, if it doesn't come down heavy, you've come a lap too early.
This could be very interesting. Those three that have put the inters on have got to tiptoe round and pray they don't kill their tyres and it rains hard. Yeah. If it does, they are the podium.
If you get it right, you're a champ. If you get it wrong, then I can't say the word
Well, you can say it, but you might need to try and test that mute button again. God for Donovan. Sounds a bit too much like Carol Vorderman, that.
It really does. I thought
Carol Vorderman. Right. So, Mexican Grand Prix memories. Mr. Senna, Mr. Mansell had a few battles here back in the late 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had a huge gap until just about 6 years ago when we returned here. In that short amount of time we've been back here, we've not seen much action.
I think it was in a different location to this, wasn't it?
No, I know it was here, but it was a different layout. The final corner, they just went round the stadium. They didn't go through it, they went round it. Bergen's pitted, by the way. Yeah, it was a bit like the Parabolica at Monza. Mandy says you're still very quiet. Good to see you, Mandy. Nice to see you in the YouTube chat.
Is this better?
Oh, hello. I can hear you very loud now. Owie.
I don't know, I'm low, like...
Oh, I think I just saw rain.
Yeah, it is. It's raining on Thursday.
There's rain.
As well.
Yeah, so that's Rob Smith, Boothie, Rob Smith, and Bitt, the first three to pit. Bergen has slotted in between Boothie and Bitt. Then you've also got a fourth man, which is Smith, who's on the Inters as well. Sorry, fifth man even. So those guys are really going to be lapping when this rain gets a bit heavier, as long as they can keep their tyres in check. Yeah, there's definitely rain, I can see. Those on the soft tyres might be okay for a couple of laps, but the hards and the worn mediums will be not very nice. That's probably the best thing I can say. Rob Smith, if you've ever wanted to win a race in Tier 2, this is the best opportunity you might ever get.
I'm just trying to adjust my mic level.
You just got a little bit louder. Nice to see you in the YouTube chat, Mandy. Yeah, you sound nice and... Nice, yeah. Sounds good. Right. Martin is backing the cars up again. And the safety car's on its way. Look at the rain in the final chicane! I tell you what, if you're any of the front three, surely you gamble and dive into the pits now in the Inters rather than risking everything. This is wet enough now for the Inters. And yeah, look at this. Doris is in the pits. Doris is not waiting around. He's straight in. He might have missed the boat in terms of he'll lose a lot of positions, but he'll be ahead of this lot when they all pit.
Honestly, I think
this is wet enough.
Too early, I think.
Eddie does side by side with single track into turn one. On the soft tyres, he's got the tyre heat and he's gone wide in turn one. And they've had contact! Oh, and Eddie's had to relinquish position. Eddie's round! And a collision with Fox. Eddie and Fox collide. I don't know if they got any damage. I think they're both okay. I think it's wet enough based upon that episode there.
I mean, DRS is still on, isn't it?
It is. Wow, that was juicy. And Jackster, by the way, snuck ahead of Eddie Dust as well. He's having a quiet race.
Too early on the Inters, to be honest.
They could be, but they're sticking with the guys on the dries. Rob Smith, by the way, going for a move on Winky round the outside. What a move! And just behind him is Boothie, who's now going through too. It's wet enough. This is definitely it. It's time.
It's definitely wet there, isn't it? In sector
yeah, sector 2, it's definitely wet. Rob Smith, Boothie, Bergen, Bits, Doris, Scottish Ninja and Smith are all laughing right now. Because, yeah, the see the spray. Anyone who doesn't pit now is vulnerable. Yeah, they're all in. They are all in. And that
it came at the time it did.
Indeed. And look at this, we've got a 3-car scrap for the lead. Bergen, Boothie and Rob Smith are all in a trio of what could be carnage in turn 1. Bergen has to lift. He knows he can't make it 3 wide turn 1. Not safely. Rob Smith goes very wide at turn 1. That's compromising for turn 2. And Bergen looking for a switchback on all 3 of them. They're all tiptoeing around each other. Bergen passes Boothie for P2.
That's a real good move, you know, in a way.
That was really exciting, drive from all of them. And look at this. Carl, the McBitties, Hobnob, Edens, hoping not to crumble under pressure, up in P4. These guys have got 11 and a bit seconds to Doris in P5, by the way. They've got a huge lead.
What a call from the three lads in the same party together, and Jackson as well, I believe pitted.
Jackson pitted just now. He initially stayed out. But those guys and Rob Smith absolutely called it.
That's a great strategy call, to be honest. I thought personally it was a lap too early until
I'd have stayed out for another lap, but you know what? Fair play. That risk was well taken. Now the real question is, without DRS, are we going to see an opportunity? Oh, Bergen's round! Bergen's out! Bergen's in the wall, he's out! Oh, Kyle.
No.
Kyle. He's just thrown away a great chance to win the race. He was in with a fighting chance alongside Boothie, Rob Smith and Bit. Now the three musketeers continue without him, and Bergen will be bitterly disappointed. Another fight worth looking at here. Single track, having a look at Doris down the main straight. He's clearly got enough straight line speed.
How was that not a safety car?
I think we've had too many.
That's excellent.
You can have too many safety cars. It is a fun fact. So which means from now on we're just going to see pure racing. Nice one. Scottish Ninjas out of the race. Rather than Australian. Don't know where that came from. Anyway, back to the front. These front three still got nearly 11 seconds to Single Track and Doris, who've got a buffer themselves to Fox and Gassian. Eddie Dust is in the pits. Scottish Ninjas retired in the pits. Could we see... Sorry, go ahead.
You're going to see a real good indicator now as well. Who had the high downforce setups?
Yes, you're going to see whose setup is sensible and who's risking it all. Tell you what, this could be quite a podium. No one would have predicted this podium of Rob Smith, Boothie and Bits. No disrespect to any of those three, but to have all three of them on the podium is fantastic. This is what we love to see.
I mean, they started quite far down, didn't they?
Yeah, Bit was in 11th, if I remember rightly. Boothie was around the mid-pack as well. Rob Smith was in the top 10, but I can't remember where. Let's have a quick look at position change. Let's have a look.
P7, Bit was...
Yeah, Bit was P11. Yes, a position change. 6 up for Rob Smith, 10 for Boothie, 8 for Bitty. Credit where it's due for all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have all played their race strategy perfectly. Let's have a quick look at this penalty situation. So we've got 6 drivers who've got a 3-second penalty. They are Doris, Jackster, Gassian, Winky, Smith and Fireday Rooster.
Single track must be absolutely flying.
Well, he has a couple of laps advantage on these guys for tyre life. They got the track position on him, but they might have burnt their tyres a little bit in that early phase of the inters, which is giving him better pace now. Yes.
That's the problem in a crossover phase. If you go too early, that's the fight is done.
Although Boothie's now 4.2 behind Rob Smith, who seems to have got the hammer down. Bit is actually catching Boothie. Boothie looks to have possibly just burnt his tyres out. And that is the problem, rather than Rob Smith's pace. Could we see a double Alpine podium?
It's looking very highly possible.
Although Bit here surely is going to get a move done on Boothie. He's in the toe. Just like Paul Scholes, he's got his toes out. up the inside into turn 1. And that's a move for the Aston Martin. Is Boothie going to fight it? He isn't. He backs out of that, wisely so. These two know that if they trip over each other, they will lose lots of time. They've already lost Rob Smith, who's running away. I did say earlier, this is Rob Smith's best chance of getting his maiden Tier 2 win. You will not get a better opportunity than this. Hello everyone from Speedy Bullet. Sup y'all? Nice to see y'all. 5 seconds is now the gap for Rob Smith to Bitty, who's just half a second ahead of Boothie. The gap to Single Track though for these two is dropping. He's now 4 seconds behind. Doris is just about keeping with him, just 1.5 back himself. Single Track is flying. He is someone we need to watch out for.
He's really enjoying this stint, isn't he?
right now, Martin, bear in mind, he was 11 seconds behind the leader about four laps ago. He's now 9 seconds off the leader, so he's found a couple of seconds his teammate, but crucially, Boothie and Bit were right with Rob, and now he's just 3.5 seconds off of Bit of B2. So that's Martin with a huge twitch in the final corner. That won't have done him any good. But Martin is catching scarily quickly for a man who was saying he wasn't doing well here. He's been putting himself down, and now suddenly he's coming alive. The high downforce is telling.
I mean, to be honest, I thought he was doing okay in practice.
Yeah, I thought so too, but he put himself down. Speaking of praise, where it's due though, Rob Smith out front, 6.2 seconds clear of the next car, who are Boothie and Bit. Now 6 seconds clear of them. They've got a 2-second gap to single track in their little battle. And we've got 10.5 laps to go. Rob Smith can afford to drop the half a second a lap in pace and he'll be fine. Ghost Rider has lost it at the exit of turn 3. And it doesn't look like safety car's coming out once again. I've looked on board Eddie Dustin to see if we can see the stricken Haas. Both Haas drivers have lost it in the wall. And yep, that car is cleared. And Rob Smith is now just flying still.
What's gone wrong?
It was Ghost Rider's gone. Hoseman gone round. Yeah, Hoseman's lost at the S's. And look who it is. Martin is now right with Boothie and Bit. Are these two going to work together? Carlando style, and try and defend from the Alpine? I think we're going to see an Alpine 1-2.
He's going to pass Boothie.
Yeah, we're going to see an Alpine 1-2 here. Almost certain. Yeah, Martin's up the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to get Bit as well? Is he going for a 2 for 1? I know it's the Black Friday deals are on the UK, but this is a buy one get one free job from the Alpine. And round the outside of turn 2, inside of turn 3. Can he get the power on the exit? Yes, he can. Boothie, very twitchy on the exit there as well. Wow.
You've got to know what you're doing to pass Bit like that. Yeah, you can defend that boy.
Bit is a defensive maestro, and Martin has now made an Alpine 1-2.
Can he catch Rob Smith?
We don't see 1-2s very often, and I have to say, he's got just under 9 laps, so just over 9 laps to catch 7.5 seconds. That's a lot to catch.
You say that, but within 4 laps he took 11.
That was on Bit and Boothie. He found 4 seconds in that same period on Rob, so at his current pace he might do it. 7.5 seconds is the gap. Fire J Rooster, by the way, has gone for the full wets.
Interesting.
I don't think it's wet enough, personally. By the way, Marston's just found half a second in that final sector. He's found another quarter of a second there. Bit's in the pits. So's Fox River. They're both in the pits. Are they going for the full width? Yes, Fox has gone for the full wets. Bit's gone for full wets. Ooh, this is bold. Because if this is if this decision is right, this means the track's getting a super wet.
I mean, it looks really wet on board.
Let's just on board Boothie. You've got all the spray from Doris. Doris is now past Boothie.
I mean, I don't really know without being on the track, to be honest.
No, it's hard without the feel. But someone who feels okay, Doris runs very wide there. Martin's now 5.8 behind his teammate. At this current pace, he's going to win the race. Because he's literally finding temps every corner now. 5.5.
He's clearly very comfortable with whatever he's done with them wings.
5.3, 5.2. He's just found nearly half a second in the time that we've been talking about him. He is flying. 5.0. He's dropped Doris in this meantime. The guys on the full wets are obviously back on
Just
track
keeping an eye
now.
on them. I'm
Yeah,
just
keep
keeping
an
an eye
eye.
on the times.
Let us know how they get on. Single track's now 4.4 from his teammate. He's just found a second since we started talking about it. He's found over a second now, 4.2. He's faster than Rob Smith on the straights. He's faster in the corners. This is baffling. It's a matter of when single track catches him now. Actually, just out of interest, who's got the fastest lap? It's Eddie Dust in P10. No one's going to match that time now it's raining. So we're not going to see quite the maximum points from the Alpines. We'll be one shy at the very least. But Boothie and Doris are still fighting quite hard at the moment. That's over what is now currently P3. They've got a 10-second gap to Jackster in P5. Jackster is fighting very hard with his fellow Dutchie, Gassian. Oh no, Gassian's not Dutch, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Gassian's Austrian. They both like Red Bull. Gassian in P6 wanting to pass our Williams boy in Jackster. Beaston and Fox on the full wets and P8 and P9. I'm not sure their pace is necessarily good. Have you got any idea, Ryan? Oh! We've got a car road! Single track's in the wall! Oh! You know what, Martin? You might have just thrown away the chance for the win. He's got a lot of work to do to catch and repass Doris and Boothie. He will be kicking himself. Rob Smith will be...
Not that far behind, let's be honest.
No, with the pace he was at, he should be able to recoup that position. Gassian now pits, by the way, for the full wet.
Yeah, I'm looking... The Delta time has only come down 2 seconds on the bit to Smith.
Yeah, so Bit's now targeting surely P5 in this recovery drive.
It's coming down not like I expected.
Not quickly. Understand. So, oh dear. Mr. Hodgson gives some insight. Rob may have burned his tyres out when it was not very wet earlier. Yeah, we were saying that earlier about Carl and Boothie, particularly. Mr. Singletrack is slowly closing in again on Boothie and Doris, who are still fighting. They're only half a second apart. Ooh, Doris with a huge moment on the entry to the stadium section. Eddie Dust and Fajo Rooster have both had some off-track excursions of this lap, both getting a penalty. It doesn't look like Bitty's actually catching Smith, really, does it? Now Jacob speeds in the pit lane and retires in the pits.
He's not catching him now, no.
No, so
he's not now.
So it doesn't look like it's wet enough, and Fox has got past Bit, so maybe...
That's 7.3, would you say? 7.3?
Yes.
I don't think that's coming down.
No, it doesn't look like it. And coming back to the top 4 fight, Single Track is now only 1 second. Yeah, he's caught up again. I sound like a biased man being in the league and looking at the league owner, but he is having a fantastic race. In fairness to him,
all he has to do really is pass Boothie.
Yeah, Doris's penalty does cripple him. He's a little bit scuppered by that 3-second penalty. 5.5 laps to go, and yeah, the Alpine 1-2 looks likely again. Although Doris is catching catching Rob Smith again. I think Rob Smith's tyres are somewhat dead. Yeah,
like I said, I think it was a lot too early.
Either they're dead or he's just bringing it home, tiptoeing it along. Either way, he just needs to keep it clean. 5 more laps from Mr. Smith. You can afford to lose a second a lap and you can still win this race. Down.
Back a Boothie.
He is. Let's see if he makes a move into turn 1. He's gaining quickly. Not quick enough though. Just looking back at the order here, Bit has got Eddie Dust, who's now on the intermediates again, all over the back of him. And Fox isn't making any inroads than Smith.
No,
So
he's lost time.
it looks like the Inters is now the faster tyre again. It looks like it's definitely not right for the full wet. So
Yeah.
Jackster and Smith in P5 and P6, they look pretty safe there right now. Single track is very close to the back of Boothie, who's very twitchy out of 6 and 7. Rob Smith's lead is now just 5.3 seconds, so the gap is coming down. But surely Rob can hang on to this, he just needs to keep it clean. And Boothie and single track, they keep it clean in this fight here, they will get a podium together. Just need to keep it nice and clean, no mistakes.
It's gone into that phase of the race where nothing really is going on.
It is the only thing going on is this second, third, fourth battle is the only thing notable, and then there's Eddie Dust and Bit. Let's have a look at Eddie Dust. I think he's about to pass Bit actually. In fact, he is. He's making the move into the stadium on the inside.
Martin has got Booby.
Oh, of course, we look away for 1 second and we miss the overtake. Of course, but we saw Bit and Eddie have their fight, so Bit's now down to P9. And as you say, Martin single track passes Boothie. That will become P2 after penalties. Now, if you're Martin, you see the gap to your teammates still is dropping quickly and there's 4 laps to go. Do you push to pass Doris and the chance of going for the win, or do you just try and play the team game and take P2?
To be honest, I would push him past Doris anyway.
Just in case.
Hold him away from Rob.
Yeah, good call. So play the team game rather than go for the win. Rob Smith and single track here doing a fantastic job for the Alpine team. Looking very likely that they are going to pull home a huge haul of points as Winky has binned it in the pit wall, it looks. It means there's just 11 cars left. Hoseman is the unlucky 11th car that will not get a point today, with everyone else in the points paying positions. And with just over 3 laps to go as Rob Smith crosses the start finish line, lap 34-36. And 4 seconds is his lead to Doris. Single track is far quicker than everyone on track right now, it would seem. Will he take P2 on track? Boothie's just hanging on as well. As long as Boothie keeps this pace up, he will take a podium in well-deserved P3. And tell you what, for Boothie and Rob Smith proving here that it doesn't matter if you're necessarily the quickest or not. If your strategy is good, it doesn't matter if you were quick or if you weren't quick. If the strategy is right, you will be in the mix at the end of the race.
Well, that's the same everywhere, really.
Exactly. They have called their strategies perfectly today and deserve to be where they are.
Yeah.
Who's your early nomination for a drive of the day? Who are you thinking about?
I'm going to take a quick look at the positions.
Yeah, let's get the position change on the screen. Yeah, 11 up for Smith, 8 for Boothie, 6 for Rob Smith.
Boothie, Jackson, Smith, all
fantastic from all of them.
Yeah, well, it's been a good race, to be honest with you.
Definitely. If he hangs on, for me it's going to be Rob Smith. If he hangs on, it's his first win in Tier 2. If he keeps this on the track,
I'd agree with that.
2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Can he do it? Credit to Martin where it's due. He's been fantastically quick, just like Bergen. Credit where it's due. In all conditions, looked rapid, and then just had one silly moment on the final corner, which unfortunately ended his race. And then we also saw a great pace from Hoseman early on, but it's just fallen away from him into the wet. There's been lots of fast drivers today, and it's just this rain has thrown everything up in the air.
As long as Rob doesn't keep looking at the gap, he should finish in P1.
Mandy says with the pace of Doris and single track, they should be in tier 1. I agree. They have fantastic pace. Here we go.
I agree, but then they might just really like this track.
That's true, and they might just have a good setup for the rain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There is a small fight going on between Bit, Gassian and Hoseman for the last of the points. They're not super close on track, but with the penalty for Gassian and obviously with varying tyre life, Bit on the full wet, this isn't quite over. Hoseman could get both of them.
Rob Smith has pulled a little bit more.
He has. He has indeed. By the way, Boothby is now outside of the window for the penalty. So as it stands, Boothby's not going to get the podium.
I don't think he'd be too bothered by that.
Oh no, he'll be happy with his outcome.
P4's fantastic.
It is.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Here we go, Martin for the last dash attempt for taking P2 on track. Will he go for it or will he just play safe? I think at this point you just play safe. You know these teammates safe up front.
Close.
That was nearly contact. That was a Hamilton-Gasly moment, that.
I thought they touched, to be honest.
Hoseman's got past Gassian, by the way, for P10. And he's only a second off a bit. Will he take P9 in the dying moments of the race? Stick with single track and Doris. I think right now, if you're Martin, you just back off and take the position. And make sure you've got the guaranteed 1-2 for the team. You don't take the risks. But will he send it here? He's having a look. Oh, tell you what, that's a risk I don't think he needs to take, Martin. But nevertheless, let's cut to...
No, I think... Oh no! Single track round.
Oh no, and that is my point. And 3 seconds for corner cutting, that is my point. Not worth the risk.
Sure.
But Rob Smith takes the win in Mexico. It's his first Tier 2 win. Congratulations to Rob Smith. What a drive. Doris crosses the line in P2, but Boothby will take P2. Doris P3, single track P4 after that late moment across the track. That was unfortunate, but oh wow, possibly cost his team the 1-2. Jackson will come round the final corner and takes P5. Smith, what a drive from him to take P6, by the way.
Yeah.
Great drive. Eddie Dust is next to come across the line. And that's P7 for Eddie Dust.
Is Bit getting the final point now?
He will do. Oh no, Gassian's passed him, but he has got a penalty. Gassian's let him go. Fox River takes P8. P9, Hoseman. And P10, cross the line, comes Bits for the final point. And P11, Gassian, the final finisher. What a chaotic race, and action everywhere from all of our drivers. The game gives Boothby driver of the day. I think we've already agreed that Rob Smith, he's probably going to get it, although to be fair to Boothby, Rob Smith,
I mean, they
can share it. Rob Smith and Boothby can share it, because that was incredible from both of them to be on the podium. Absolutely remarkable driving.
I mean, single track will be banging his wheel right now. I mean...
Yeah, 2 moments in that race where he's possibly cost himself the chance to stand on the top step, or at least on the second step. Nevertheless, what a drive. Here are your results. The top 11 were the ones to finish. The 12th down to 20th even did not finish, unfortunately. Rob Smith with the win. Boothby and Doris join him on the podium. Single track, Jackster, Smith, Eddie Dust, Fox, Hoseman and Bit round out the points. Gassian, the final finisher. Then the DNFs, Winky, 5J Rooster, Ghost Rider, Scottish Ninja, Bergen, Remax, Wookie, Monster and B17. Fastest lap award and a bonus point goes to Eddie Dust in P7. What a race, and hopefully Tier 1 can live up to that in just 20 minutes time, where Ryan and myself will hopefully not make too much of an embarrassment of ourselves. How are you feeling for it? You feeling excited, Ryan, or you just want it over and done with?
Well, I don't really like Mexico anyway, to be honest. Hopefully finish the race.
Good aim. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure as always, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in and joined in on the YouTube chat. Have a lovely evening. Good night.